Long car rides challenged my imagination as a child. My small forehead pressed against the cool glass as I'd stare up at the dancing sky. Shapes shifted before me, changing from a dragon to a cat to a ballerina. "Do you see that?" I'd say, and in response my mom chimed, "You're so creative." I've spent my whole life wondering what that meant.
Creativity is following your impulse, being authentic. It doesn't have to be like art, and dance and music. It can be having an open mind. It's joyful. Creativity is life. Creativity is hopeful.
Creativity is expression, something coming into being.
You could be creatively speaking to somebody or writing something.
It's to make form.
I think it's how you live.
Creativity, it seemed, could be so vast. So what does it take to have the courage to create? I pondered. Have I ever been told I was not creative? I couldn't answer this on my own. I needed opinions from other people and professionals.
People will claim it. I'm not a creative person. Like, oh, well, that's a lot of resources we get to work on then.
What's the feeling behind no creativity? What need is not being fulfilled?
Right? What's going to happen when I play? What's going to happen when I paint? What's going to happen when I do a painting that is not very good?
The formulaic expectations for what art was supposed to be flooded back to me. It was limiting.
Often they've had experiences where, they've been shushed in choir, or they've been told in elementary school that their pictures don't look like the way that they're supposed to look like, and they've contracted in form. And they also haven't found maybe the piece that is their modality.
It can be frustrating not knowing what you're good at.
Art is stressful sometimes. You have to get frustrated. You're working your emotions out through your creative process.
If you just allow for that time where the intention is to be creative, where the intention is just to have space, then the message by creating that time in the school schedule is telling kids this is valued.
As children, we need an outlet without judgment.
Art is sometimes viewed as a very exclusive type of thing to engage in. Art should be accessible to everybody, but especially for youth, not being able to afford to engage in arts really shouldn't be a barrier. It's a really intrinsic part of their cognitive development and growth, and is a really healthy part to include in their lives.
How can you even know what it means to not be creative?
I was just talking to my kids, and they said a lot of art classes, what they do is they'll look at a famous painting and then they'll be asked to copy it.
I look up stuff like on the internet and I try to copy it.
And so I think we could do a lot better at asking people to do what only they could do.
If you have a big imagination, you can use your imagination for coloring, drawing, and painting.
Do I have to be an artist to be creative?
I don't even think there are artists and non-artists. We are all artists. It's just we're choosing whether to make art or not.
My advice to somebody who wanted to create more but felt like they didn't know how would be to play. So I think there's a lot we can learn from the qualities of play and from children, and just that willingness to try and explore.
In terms of being stuck and unstuck with feeling creative or not creative, just start doing. Because sometimes it's a mental thing, and if you're stuck in your mind saying, I'm not creative, you're gonna feel a certain way and you're not gonna do anything. So you need to maybe start doing something.
What things do you do when you're bored, and what things do you do in your spare time? What are those things that you do?
Everyone has absolutely the capability of creativity, and they're expressing it in their different ways and maybe suppressing it.
We are all afraid of judgment.
I get stuck in a rut of judging myself creatively, and it always happens at about the quarter mark when I'm working on something, and then I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work. This is like not what I want it to be, and then I'm like, hold on, you know it's gonna turn out great at the end, just relax.
Art is so subjective, and I'm always doubting my stuff at some point in the creation process. I need space and I need intention, so I feel like I can't be creative unless I have those two things.
And it's not easy because we're told constantly, don't do this, don't do that, don't ask for this, you know, put your needs aside. And so we lose connection to ourselves.
One of the things I say when I teach is there's no judgment in this room, and you're not allowed to judge what you're doing. We just need to sit and take time and be present with what we're doing, and creativity will be there.
I think the part about fine arts that I have always felt lacking in is when I compare myself to other people.
Can I make it as good as I want it to be? Of this vision in my head of what it's going to look like. Do I have the skills to get it to there?
You need to help people not care so that they can rise and be themselves and know that, you know, if somebody else has an issue with a piece of you, can take some of this and look at it. But actually, if you want to internalize it, it can stop your process. Watch anytime that you get yourself a little bit too into rules and procedures and following someone else's plan. Failure is our greatest teacher sometimes, and it's also a perspective.
How do we escape this? How can we flourish?
I think there's a complex relationship between happiness and creativity. There's research that shows that mania, like in the context of bipolar disorder, is linked with creativity. When they were in the manic phase, we're most creative and productive.
So I think these artists that are depressed, amazing artists, my understanding of that is it's actually almost easier to make some amazing work when you're angst, when you're in something deep. You know, there's suicidal tendencies or like drugs or alcohol that gets you into an altered state of consciousness.
How can we break rules?
My family would view Picasso as a scribble. I understand that you think Picasso's painting is a scribbling, but it's creative because he was the first one to scribble it.
Artists, you know, we have to break rules. We have to, you know, tell the truth because that's how we survive.
When you're creative, I think you're more likely to be in a flow state, and some people think of flow as part of happiness. There's this idea of flow where you get lost in an activity, time passes quickly, and you're challenged.
Sometimes I know what's going on around me, but I usually don't.
Even scientists like Dan Siegel are starting to describe emotions as energy flow.
I think that it is important that we connect with that sort of creative energy.
When we are creative, we're able to align with our most authentic selves. And when we're able to do that, we're able to see the beauty in the everyday. And that's what makes us happy.
Especially when we're talking about creativity and happiness, people will be more productive and engaged and inspired when they've found something that they love so much they can be creative.
What nourishes you?
Happiness to me was you leaving me alone with a bucket of paint and a blank canvas.
I like art since it's relaxing and fun, and it just brings your mind back together when you're mad or sad.
When I'm sad, I can just draw like something expressive, like showing bright colors.
Being a kid is so hard, and I feel like if I had some of these tools of self-expression, tools of movement to sort of work through hard times, that would have been so beneficial to me as a kid.
Go write some poetry, go outside, and let it go.
There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. And I think you could say part of the way is being creative.
David Bowie said, It's the feeling that you get when you're kind of swimming out into the water and you can't quite feel the ground. That's that level of risk you kind of want to take with creativity too.
You know, follow your thread and keep following the direction it leads you in, not needing it to be a certain way. Because by the time you're there, you just have to keep facilitating this creative self. The world needs you in your capacity to serve and give and create.
Creativity is absolutely critical to the quality of our lives. Our creativity enables us to leave our routine everyday existence, fantasizing about travel, food, sex, falling in love, or having the last word. All of the things that make life interesting. Creativity gives us the opportunity to envision new possibilities. It's an essential launch pad for making our hopes come true. It fires our imagination, relieves our boredom, alleviates our pain, enhances our pleasure, and enriches our most intimate relationships. Without creativity, there is no hope. No chance to envision a better future, no place to go, no goal to reach.
The echo of my mother's voice saying, "You're so creative," still presents itself every now and then. I'm starting to realize what that means.